I know you don't think I see this, but I saw how you looked at me. Seriously, did you give our last talk any serious thought over the last few days? You know, as we looked, Paul wrote in Philippians chapter 1, whatever happens, conduct yourselves in a manner worthy of the gospel of Christ. Then whether I come and see you or only hear about you in my absence, I will know that you stand firm in one spirit, contending as one man for the faith of the gospel, without being frightened in any way by those who oppose you. Now, what is it to conduct ourselves worthy of the gospel? Well, there's a couple things I think that call for attention in respect to that question. First of all, Paul uses a unique term here that's translated as conduct yourselves in our Bibles. Instead of using the term that he often uses in other places that he writes, one that's translated walk or live, he used this term in particular that was related to citizenship. In other words, he was urging these people to live as though they became citizens of a state defined by the gospel, or the kingdom of God, if you would. Simply put, he was saying this: conduct yourselves in the kingdom of this world as citizens of the kingdom of God. Now, that might be rather obvious for some of us, but the implications might not be. First of all, the implication is that while citizenship provides certain rights and privileges for people, it also comes with specific responsibilities and duties. And here, the emphasis falls on the latter, responsibilities and duties. So what are those for the citizen of the kingdom of God? Well, quite simply, unity. And this unity was specifically regarding both the message of the gospel and the mission associated with it. Now, this seemed to be a little bit of a challenge for these people to whom Paul wrote initially. Paul mentioned in the opening of this letter that he was, quote unquote, confident that the Lord would complete the good work he had started in them. There's probably reason for that. I think the inference is that maybe some might not be quite so confident. Later, he pled with a couple sisters in the Lord to reconcile their differences and agree with one another. Now, obviously, there was some battling going on. Now, it would appear that unity was not something that was coming naturally to this group. But seriously, is unity natural for any of us? I think the better question is, how do we maintain the unity we have been given through the message of the gospel and its mission? Well, we're going to wrestle through that question in the next few talks. But before I go today, I'd like us to consider this. Is our unity empowered and exercised by focusing more on the gospel or on the Constitution? Are we more unified by attending more to the rule of God in our lives or the rule of law in our land? Is our unity strengthened more by sharing the gospel with one another or our political opinions with others? Now, let me remind you that there's a place for all of these things, but the question is in regards to our unity, to conducting ourselves in a manner worthy of the gospel. Honestly, I have some work to do in this area, as I've been more concerned with my rights and privileges as an American citizen lately than my duties and responsibilities as a citizen of the kingdom of God. So I need you to pray for me and to gently rebuke me when I lose sight of the goal and you see it. And I'm counting on you. Now, how about you? In what manner are you going to live? And who is going to help you do so? Think about that. God bless you all. I love you, my friends.